Hey guys, it's Carly. Today I'm going to be showing you how I make my favorite no-knead sandwich bread. It's super simple because it's no knead. I'm going to include in the next little section all of the ingredients you're going to need, and I'm going to measure all of them out so that it's nice and quick for this video. So yeah, let's get right into it. So for this recipe, I suggest a pretty decent sized bowl. You're going to need 3 cups of flour, so it's going to take up a substantial amount of space. You're also going to want a tea towel to place over top of the bowl while it's rising. I always throw mine in the dryer because I'm crazy and I want it to stay warm, so mine's in the dryer right now, but a tea towel is super helpful. You could also do plastic wrap or something like that. Then I have my active dry yeast. This is the brand I always use, and yeah, it's pretty straightforward. Then you're gonna need butter. This is my favorite kind. You're only gonna need a little bit, so don't stress if you don't have a lot. And you can also always use coconut oil or some other type of oil. It's just I use butter. Then you're gonna need your flour, which is right here. I use organic bread flour, but once again, you can use any type of flour that you like, but it does have to be gluten flour. So I've never done this recipe gluten-free, but I'm sure it can be done. It's just, I've never done it. Then you need your white sugar. I have my whole bucket out, but you really only need a tiny, tiny bit to feed the yeast. So don't worry about that. And then I have my salt and pepper. I use Redmond's salt. And then the bowl, and then I am using a glass loaf pan, and that is all of our ingredients. Next, it is time to add the 1.5 cups of warm water. Make sure it is warm, not hot. If it's hot, it will kill all of the yeast and you will not be able to make the bread. So nice and warm, comfortable enough to stick your finger in and it doesn't burn. That's what we're looking for. And then it's going to be about 1/4 of a stick of butter, which is about 2 tablespoons. And now we mix. Okay, so I ended up adding a little bit more water, which is totally fine and actually pretty normal. These recipes really are dependent on a lot of different factors. So this is what we're working with. I am going to make sure it's all combined. It is. And now I'm going to grab my tea towel and we are going to let this sit for about 40 minutes to rise in a nice warm place. Okay, now we need to butter the dish. You want to make sure it's completely buttered all the way to the top because this is going to prevent your loaf from sticking, and you're going to want it to come out really clean so that you're able to slice it and, you know, use it as sandwich bread or use it as, you know, maybe a side to whatever you're making for dinner. We like to eat it with butter, so make sure you do that. I'm using this glass one. I've had it for years, probably as long as we've been married, and it's never done me wrong. So use your butter. I melt the butter. You can also use oil, but I just use the butter that I'm using in the bread. It also adds, you know, additional flavor. And yeah, make sure you butter the dish you're gonna use. Okay, so now it's doubled in size. So I'm now going to put it into my buttered glass dish here, and then it's going to rise for an additional about an hour or so, and then it's going to bake in the oven. going to insert how long and what temp to bake your bread. And then when it comes out, you are going to put some butter on top to melt and really seep into the bread, and that is it. And I will show you guys the end result after baking.